Have you ever opened up your crankbait box and not known what to pick? Have you ever wondered why there's so many different designs? Some are slender, some are round, some have different bill shapes. Well, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best crankbait to choose for summertime bass fishing. And we're going to be specifically talking about the 6th Sense Crush Deep Dive lineup and the 6th Sense Cloud 9 Deep Dive lineup. And in this video, I'm going to get you dialed in. In the description of today's video, I've got a product list that gets you dialed in on what baits I am talking about. There's gonna be discount codes and affiliate links down there. So make sure to use those discount codes and affiliate links. It goes right back to me and the channel. The first crankbait model that we're gonna be talking about is the Crush Deep Diver model, the 300DD and the 500DD. These are much different crankbaits than the Cloud 9. They have a different purpose. What I wanna do first is read some of the stuff that comes off of the 6th Sense Fishing website itself. The Crush Deep Diving Crankbait series has taken deep water cranking to the next level, designed to quickly and efficiently dive to deep depths with less drag. This bait maximizes the strike zone while adding fish attracting turbulence trail. Super sharp black nickel hooks and top of the line paint schemes with realistic 3D gill plates, 3D eyes, and 3D scales differentiate the Crush DD from all other deep diving crankbaits on the market. A couple of the advantages listed on the website are deflecting lip geometry. This basically means it's designed to not just crash and deflect off cover, but to back out quickly, reducing hangups. Also, engineered buoyancy quickly rebounds off thick brush, trees, rocks, or any other type of cover while maintaining position and trajectory. This bait is designed to get down to depth, and it's going to deflect off cover. So it's going to come down, hit that cover, and it's going to bounce off instead of trying to stay down in it. Now, that's important when you're around brush, especially because if you hit that brush and you let go and it floats back, now you're going to be able to go past that tree limb. And then if it hits it again, it'll back out and you're going to be able to keep going. That's super key when it comes to fishing around brush. Now, you can fish that Cloud 9 through the brush, but it is much harder. That thing just dives and stays in that brush a little bit more. If you guys end up buying anything from 6thsensefishing.com, make sure to use discount code LUNA10. It will save you 10% off your order. Another thing that the Crush excels at is being able to burn that crankbait. If you throw that Cloud 9 out there and you're trying to burn it, you're going to feel that crankbait pulling back against you. You're going to feel that drag. But that Cloud 9 has a purpose that we're going to get into in a second, but that's the main differences between the two. You're going to be able to burn that DD style crankbait a lot easier than you are the Cloud 9 series. Now, depending on what depth you're going to be fishing these deep diving crankbaits, the 300DD is a 14 to 19 foot crankbait, and then the 500DD is a 20 to 27 foot crankbait. So you're going to need to pick the specific size crankbait accordingly to get down to whatever depth you're trying to target. So now we're going to move into the Cloud 9 C15 through C25 model. The C15 gets in that 15 foot range, the C20 gets in the 20 foot range, and the C25 gets into that 25 foot range. Now, when you cast this Cloud 9 crankbait out, you're going to feel that bait moving down in the water. This has a different bill design that's going to get it down to depth a little bit quicker, and it's going to stay on the bottom a little bit easier than that Deep Diver Crush model. You're going to be able to fish this a little bit more slowly through the cover, and it's going to stay down in that cover a little bit more. This is one of those ones where you're really methodically hitting the cover. You're reeling it as slow as possible because sometimes you want those fish to react, and that's where your Crush DD is going to come in. And then sometimes you got to get them to just eat that bait, and it needs to be in that strike zone a little bit longer, and that's where your Cloud 9 model is going to come into play. We're about to get to the part of the video where I'm going to talk specifically about how to choose which model crankbait and why. But before we get to that, I want to talk to you guys about Waterland Fishing Optics. Waterland Fishing Optics is my sunglasses sponsor, and they make awesome polarized fishing sunglasses. They're made by fishermen for fishermen. These sunglasses have awesome polarization. It's going to help you see down into the water. I was recently at Lake Mojave. It has really clear water, but with those sunglasses on, in certain areas of the lake, I was literally able to see down to 30 foot deep. So head over to the Waterland Fishing Optics website, waterlandcode.com, and save 15% off your order when you use discount code LUNA15. The first thing that you need to take into consideration when picking one of these crankbaits is the depth that you're trying to target. So if you're trying to hit that 15 foot depth, then you're going to go with the 300DD or the C15. If you're trying to get deeper than that, you're going to go with the 500DD or the C20 or C25, depending on the specific depth that you're trying to target. That's the first thing that you need to take into consideration because it doesn't matter which crankbait you're using if you're not coming in contact with that cover. The next thing is the fish are ultimately going to be the ones that tell you which crankbait to use, but you're going to need to go in there with some sort of preconceived ideas of what those fish are going to want so you know which bait to choose right off the bat. but sometimes that bait's not going to get those strikes. So then you're going to need to switch and try the other one, and maybe then they're going to react to that different model crankbait. There's a reason why these two different crankbaits are in existence, because they do two different things and attract bites from two different types of fish. Some lakes are going to be more towards the 300 DD or the 500 DD, and other lakes are going to be more towards the Cloud 9 model. Now, if you're going to a new lake and you don't know which one to choose, I would go based upon what you think the activity level of the fish are going to be. If those fish are in the mood to want to feed, then you might want to go with that 300 or 500 DD and give it a little bit more speed. If you think those fish are going to be a little bit more lethargic and you're going to need to keep it in the strike zone a little bit longer, then you might want to go with that Cloud 9 C15 through C25 model to get it in that strike zone and really bang it off cover and keep it down on the bottom and really just keep it in contact with that cover. It's not going to bounce off the same as the 300 and 500 DD, and you're going to be able to fish it a little bit slower through that strike zone. However, I'm going to throw a little bit of a curveball in here right now, because sometimes those fish don't want to feed. They're lethargic. They don't want to do anything, and they won't eat that bait as it's going through the water column nice and slow. So sometimes you got to force that fish to bite, and that's where that 300 and 500 DD is going to shine. You're going to cast that thing out there and you're going to burn it through those fish. You're going to burn it across the bottom, and those fish have a split-second decision on whether they're going to bite that crankbait or not. They don't have time to think about it like it would if it was going through that area slow. Sometimes you're going to give it a quick little pause, keep going, pause, keep going, pause, and it forces those fish to make a decision, or it just forces them to react and bite it because it's coming through their area. Crankbaits are a great way to cover a lot of water, catch a lot of fish, and catch big fish. But there's a lot of mistakes that people tend to make when fishing crankbaits. So if you want to learn about things that you should not be doing with your crankbaits, make sure to click on the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.